Hi friends, welcome back to Playing Tribute to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. Case 2, The Stolen Turnabout, my favorite case of the game, of the original trilogy. I love Ron Delight, he is a delight. Anyway, last time we were introduced to our client. He seems to... Well, according to his wife, he has delusions about being the famous Masque de Masque thief. And he has therefore been accused of stealing the sacred urn out of the Curain exhibit at Lordly Taylor. The thing is, we also ran into Larry, our good old friend Larry Butts, who we haven't seen last game, but we all remember him from the first game, right? And it seems that he is a security guard at the same place that Ron Delight works as a security guard, which is KB Security. And his Ron Delight's wallet was found there during the time of the crime, not at the scene of the crime, namely. So he might have an alibi away from that thieving crime. So I think we're in good shape here, right? It's also crazy because this is the first trial that we have had that is not a murder case. It is a robbery case. So let's get started. We have apparently a new prosecutor to meet named Godot. And, yeah, let's just go ahead into it. Hey, Nick. What is it? Is something wrong? Nah, but did you see all the people here? It's crazy. Oh, look at this. I bought this Masque to Masque publicity photo. You bought that? Where? From the little tents in front of the courthouse. They have all sorts of things for sale. You know I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. Come on, I'm guilty! Throw the book at me! Who's screaming like that? Oh, Mr. Wright, you made it. Yeah, I did, but it doesn't look like things are going to get any less ugly for you. Because I did it! I'm the criminal! Me! He's at it again. I sent the calling card to Lordly Taylor! I admit it! But you don't have the sacred urn, right? Well, that's true, but that doesn't mean that I didn't commit the crime. Normally, when I say, of course you didn't, I'm being sarcastic, but you... Yikes. Anyway, I admit that I'm guilty, so make sure they give me a guilty verdict, please! Oh, there you are, Ronnie. Bonjour, sweetie. Oh, Desi, honey. Bonjour! Well, actually, I don't really know why I should be speaking French to you at a time like this. Leave it all to me, Ronnie. I swear I'll protect you. Well, you see, actually, the thief is... Can I tell you something, Nicky boy? I can guarantee that my Ronnie is innocent. If he's declared guilty, I'll be ever so cross with you. So why are you smiling when you say it? Well, if you'll excuse me, I've got some errands I need to take care of. I'm counting on you, Nicky boy. Good luck! Wait, she's not going to stay for the trial? And support her husband? To be honest, I really don't know whether Ron is Masque to Masque or not, but there's only one thing I am sure of. He doesn't have the sacred urn right now. Mr. Delight, it's time for you to enter the courtroom. For the time being, I guess I'll have to trust Desiree. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defense is ready, Your Honor. There he is, guys, in all his glory. What about the prosecution? Are you prepared to... What a stupid question. What did you say? Fine. Let me ask you then, Your Honor. Are you ready? Are you ready to pass judgment? I should have thought of his voice before I started this part of the case. I think it's more harsh than that. Are you ready to pass judgment? No, I'm not. I will pass judgment after I hear arguments from both sides. Well, if you're not ready yourself, you shouldn't expect others to be. That's a rule to live by. Who are you? I am Godot. His theme is a fan favorite. It's great. Legendary prosecutor. I've never lost a case. Of course, because all of the prosecutors we come up against have never lost a case, except for Payne. Because he lost to Mia. He's the one that Detective Atney was talking about. Yes, your reputation precedes you. What kind of cases have you dealt with so far? Ha! None. What did you say? I've never prosecuted a case before. Never? But you said you've never lost before. Exactly. I've never lost. I've never won before either. I love it. I love the logic. Quite arrogant for a beginner, aren't you? Even the mightiest of redwoods begin their lives as mere saplings. I think it needs to be like a smooth voice. Yes, but a mask in a court of law. Ha! Don't you know anything? No matter the man, we all wear masks. Either on our faces or over our hearts. This guy is the real deal, all right, Nick. Why does it seem like all prosecutors are the real deal? So we finally meet Mr. Phoenix Trite. Nick, is he a friend of yours? Nope, I don't have any friends that call me Trite. Just who is this masked man? I've returned to do battle with you. Well then, Prosecutor Gobo. It's not Gobo, it's Godot, Your Honor. In any case, please give your opening statement. Opening statement? Those things are not fit for even dogs to consume. I have only one thing to say before we start. To you, Mr. Trite. What is it? Are you familiar with the saying a chain is only as strong as its weakest link? I wonder how much you can withstand before you and your case break in two. Well then, let's hear from the first witness. I'll tell you the title of his theme song in a moment after it's more clear later. You'll see. My name is... No one has asked for your name, witness. The important thing is what you know. That's all. Start talking. We're listening. Yes, sir. All right, witness. First, let's hear about what you know about the thief that stole the urn. Yes, sir! Poor Gumshoe. Mask Damask is a master thief that first started his crime spree 6 months ago. He's so confident that he sends his calling card before he even commits the crime. This was his 5th heist, and as usual, he sent a card to Lordly Taylor. His pattern is to always go after the most precious art pieces. And that's why we're sure it was Mask Damask, sir. Fits his MO to a T. So then the actual identity of Mask Damask is, Mr. Godot, you! There it is. I was waiting for that. We're in the middle of a trial here, Mr. Godot. Blacker than a moonless night, hotter and more bitter. That is coffee. Yeah, he talks a lot about the underworld and, you know, all of that. I'm sure you can grant me at least this much, Your Honor. Oh, please, proceed. Very well. It's only coffee, after all. What? You can't be letting him slide this early in the trial. Proceed with your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Well, Nick, what are you going to do? As long as they haven't brought up Mr. Delight's identity, all we can do is show that it wasn't Mask to Mask who stole the urn. Yeah, I guess that would also work. Okay, first started 6 months ago. Calling card, let's learn about that, because we know that there's some hidden information there. Have you seen all of these so-called calling cards? Of course I have. Except the person in charge of the treasure exhibit never brought their card to the police. So I didn't see this one until after the crime occurred. And that's because Detective Atney stopped Miss Andrews from taking it to the police. Was the calling card that Lordly Taylor received authentic? Well, all the cards have one common identifying feature, but we're not releasing that information to the general public. But you're absolutely certain that this card is real. Gumshoe can't say it out loud, but I bet he's talking about Mask to Mask's emblem. Okay, he sent a card. Again, he's not going to say much about it, but days in advance. His 5th heist, and your 5th screw-up, huh? Objection, pal! That ain't fair. Maybe you could say I screwed up 4 times. But this last time wasn't my fault. I didn't know about the calling card this time. You, of all people, shouldn't be chuckling about this, Detective Gumshoe. I just want everyone here in the courtroom to know something. If you ever get a calling card from this guy, don't call some stupid private eye. Call your local police right away. Got me? Wow, looks like he's really got it in for Detective Atney. Precious art pieces. Sure. Tell me more. Art pieces, like what, for example? Well, his first target was the famous Tear of Eminon. What's that, some kind of especially salty teardrop? No, sir. It's a blue diamond. A single rare diamond. Next was the Crown of Bongera. You know, the thing you put on your head. After that was the left hand of Hades, and then the portrait of Megina, sir. Detective Atney retrieved the portrait of Megina and returned it to the museum. And the target of his 5th and last robbery was the sacred urn, right? But isn't it difficult for him to dispose of such famous art pieces? Well, we assume he must have some underworld connections. Somehow Mr. Delight doesn't look the type. Yeah, he's a little too sunny to be hanging out in the underworld. What do you mean when you say it fits his MO to a T? I was thinking of asking the same thing myself. I wish you would listen a little more closely, pal. First of all, there's the calling card. We're 100% certain it's authentic. Then there's the fact that he seems to know all about the security system. And finally, his target was an art piece. These are all part of the thief's modus operandi. And so, since this is a robbery, seems to fit all those conditions. That's right! It means the Mask to Mask is behind it. Nick, it definitely looks like it was Mask to Mask who stole the urn. But there's no real evidence either way as to whether Ron Delight is Mask to Mask. But... Also, the urn hasn't turned up yet, let alone in connection to Mr. Delight himself. So even though we know it was Mask to Mask that did it, maybe for the time being I should try to show it wasn't Mask to Mask that did it. Okay, I think our biggest issue right now is the fact that the urn isn't really a precious art piece. So, I'm thinking that I need to send it, or sorry, that I need to present it here, because it has no monetary value, at precious art piece. If not here, it's on the next statement that I have to present it. Objection! Okay, it's here. Can I ask you a little something, Detective Gumshoe? Just hearing the little in that question is making me nervous. You said that he always goes after the most precious art pieces, right? That's right, pal! But there's one problem. That's not what he did in this case. The supposedly priceless urn doesn't exactly rise to the level of precious art. What do you mean? Nick, how can you say such a terrible thing? No, I mean from a financial point of view. I mean it wouldn't fetch a good price. Well, Prosecutor Godot, what is the value of that urn? The appraisers I spoke to said they couldn't attach a price to it. And I mean that in the worst sense. So in other words, it was not the kind of item that Mask to Mask would not normally go after. Ugh. If I understand you correctly, Mr. Wright, you're saying that the theft of the sacred urn was not the work of Mask to Mask. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Actually, all I did was point out the contradiction. The argument made itself, but... well, first of all, we need to get this issue cleared up. Was this last robbery the work of Mask to Mask or not? What do you have to say about this, Mr. Godot? This coffee here. It's my own special blend. I call it Godot number 107. I'm trying to decide whether to cut down on the acidity or the bitterness. That's the only thing I've got on my mind right now, Mr. Trite. By the way, his theme song is called The Fragrance of Dark Coffee. The Fragrance of Dark Coffee. Fan favorite. What? If you're really a man, you should clean up your own mess. Sorry, but I don't get what you mean. If you're saying it was a Mask to Mask that stole the urn, then it must be someone imitating Mask to Mask's methods. A fake. A fake Damask? Fake Damask? That sounds so ridiculous. But I like it. Now, before I decide on my coffee, I believe some proof is in order, Mr. Trite. Proof that the person who appeared at Lordly Taylor that night was actually a fake. Though I don't approve of Mr. Godot's behavior, his point is valid. Mr. Wright, we're waiting. Looks like I'm going to have to prove it. I need proof that the person at Lordly Taylor that night was in fact a fake Damask. Alright, so there's the person. And there's Damask. There is a difference here. So do I choose the... I think I have to choose the security photo because that's the one that's actually showing him. The proof is right here. This looks like a photo taken by a security camera. But if you look closely, you'll notice something peculiar about it. Ha! Well then, why don't you go ahead and show us what it is? Go on. Use his pointer and show us just what about this picture is so peculiar. I'm giving some time for you guys. I didn't want to go right away. It's right here, of course. You mean Mask to Mask? I have here a piece of reference I would like the court to take a look at. Isn't that the publicity photo I bought this morning? The problem I have with the security camera photo is the brooch on Damask's chest. A breach? Here? Bailiff, get my steed. We need to retreat at once. A brooch, Your Honor. It's a sort of clasp for holding one's cape on. Clasp, eh? Ah, I see it now. But the Mask to Mask in the security camera photo. Ah, he has no brooch. That brooch is the same as the emblem on Damask's calling card and serves as a symbol. But the thief that broke into Lordly Taylor wasn't wearing a brooch. In other words, this Mask to Mask is a fake. I've been fooled again! Order. It's true. Undeniably true. Detective Gumshoe, how could you have overlooked this? I'm sorry, sir. I don't know how I... Is that another cup of coffee? Hey now. If you're going to have a pity party, invite me too. Mr. Godot, you deserve some blame in this too. How could you have overlooked such a large brooch? Ha! The brooch you're talking about. Do you mean this? Ah! That's Mask-to-Mask's brooch. Where did you find it? Well, I've always had a good nose for evidence. I got it at the crime scene. It was hidden in the shadow of a big female Buddha statue. Buddha statue? He must mean a face statue. Why didn't you tell me about that, sir? I always put evidence away in my pocket. After all, it's the safest place for crucial evidence. This guy is one cool customer. It's a little early to be shaken up, isn't it, little lady? That friend of yours left pretty little hickeys in there, too. Figuratively speaking, of course. I'm referring to Ron Delight's fingerprints. What? What? The defendant's fingerprints are on the brooch? Order! Order in the court! Mr. Godot, let's see that brooch. I've grown attached to my metallic girlfriend here. Take good care of her. It appears to have been torn off some clothing. There's a little bit of cloth left on the back. Obviously, there must have been a big struggle that night at the crime scene. Uh-oh. Phoenix, we have a problem. Ha! You mess with Godot. And you get burned. He's been playing me like a violin. Well, Judge, I'm about ready to call my next witness. Huh? You're done with me? But I haven't proved anything yet. You've proven your own incompetence. That's good enough. That doesn't sound good at all. Poor Gumshoe. And has Ron Delight's fingerprints on it. Finally time for the ace detective to make his appearance, huh? One second. There's one drip of the coffee pot. Let's hurry it up. Shh! Silence! Now I see. It's all becoming clear. What's clear? Svari! The truth has once again been elegantly revealed to me. What we have here is a judge and a prosecutor. A coffee maniac at that. Am I correct? Well, yes, that's right. Ha! Not bad. Not bad at all. You're the first person that's ever been able to penetrate my secret veil. Well, Sir Prosecutor, let me introduce myself. My name is Luke Atme, ace detective and rising star illuminating the heavens. Boy, these two make a perfect pair. They'd either be best friends or they'd tear each other's heads off. I've heard that on the night of the crime, you were all alone on security detail. You have heard correctly. My specially made monocle is worth more than 100 Detective Gumshoes. If Detective Gumshoe was worth anything, that is. Wow. Why was this guy all by himself anyway? There must be some reason. I'm sure of it. Well then, tell us what this special monocle of yours witnessed. It was approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, just after the date changed. That's when my nemesis, the infamous Mask-to-Mask, dancingly descended upon me. Just as I began to turn, the coward struck a fierce blow upon my noble head. Darkness swallowed me before I could land a single strike. When I awoke, he was gone. 30 minutes later, I used an emergency phone to notify the police. So you didn't get a clear look at the criminal. My specially made monocle never misses a thing. However, that is limited to things that fall within my own visual range. But of course, that's only natural. I fail to see why the witness seemed so proud of his performance that evening. Well, Sir Old-Timer, let me explain. We're not speaking of any ordinary thief, but of the king of thieves, the great Mask-to-Mask, my arch-enemy. That is why my instincts and my years of experience tell me. Very well. Proceed with the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. So that would be 1 o'clock on the morning of the 12th, correct? That's an impressive deduction, Sir Lawyer. You were on security duty that night. Where exactly were you at the time? A penetrating question. I was in the basement warehouse, near the computer. Near the computer, huh? So then you weren't trying to remain hidden, I take it. Up to this point, I have tried to remain concealed while waiting for the thief. Yeah, he said the same thing yesterday, too. Gumshoe also said that he never saw him at the crime scene. Precisely! That is precisely why I chose not to hide last night. I knew that by not concealing myself, I would be putting pressure on the thief. Looks like the thief was the one applying pressure. On your pigeony head, that is. In any case... Dancingly descended. Dancingly descended from where exactly? Well, from the entrance, I suppose. Where else? So in actuality, he neither danced nor descended. Someone please save me. So how is it that you didn't notice the thief? My eyes were looking for the thief's shadow, while my ears listened for his footfalls. But even so, the dastardly criminal managed to sneak up on me. I can only be due to his subtly camouflaged cape and soft-soled shoes. I hereby W a stunts. On your noble head. You didn't see the criminal's face when that happened. Well, that's the difficult part. How should I put it? I saw his mask. That's all I can recall. It's not very solid as far as testimony goes. However, fortunately, I had my third monocle, the security camera, at the ready. It captured his image perfectly. This should be sufficient, I believe. Well, as long as the photo is authentic, I don't see a problem here. Well, Mr. Godot, do you have a problem with this photo? Good. Then let's continue with the testimony. Attacked and knocked unconscious, and you weren't able to do a thing? That's certainly some very impressive detective work. Well, Sir Lawyer, have you ever been suddenly struck on the head? Huh? Well, actually, yes, by a fire extinguisher. And what happened? I was knocked out. And you lost your memory. You see, you have no right to look down on me then, do you? The only reason I didn't lose my memory was because I have more brains to begin with. You may have brains, but the wiring to the self-reflection part seems to be severed. In any case, that was how I was knocked senseless. And then... About this 30 minutes. My silver cord was loosened and my soul fled to the golden halls of Elysium. As usual, I have no idea what this guy is saying. I think he's saying that he was out cold. So, what happened during those 30 minutes? No one can say, Your Honor. That span of time has truly vanished into the ether. Just what is he going on about? There's something suspicious about Detective Atney. How could he not have noticed when the thief came in? Also, he says he was knocked unconscious before he could fight back. But that can't be right. It contradicts the evidence. Huh? Which piece? The real question is, why would he tell such an obvious lie? Okay, I guess I wasn't really paying attention. So, knocked out before... Oh, before he could land a strike, right. Because of the brooch that we just learned. I was thinking about that before, because whenever the brooch was presented as evidence, I was like, well, wait a second. I thought he was just knocked out by the sword and that was it. But apparently, he fought back? Objection! Mr. Atney, could you take a look at this with that special monocle of yours? Haha! This belongs to the criminal mastermind, my arch-nemesis, Mask Damask. It is, in point of fact, Mask Damask's brooch. It was found on the floor of the basement warehouse. I wonder how that happened. Ha! Elementary, my dear liar. Obviously, it wasn't glued on well enough. Not quite. It clearly shows signs of having been ripped off a piece of clothing. Ripped off? Aha! We can only deduce that the thief struggled with someone that night. That's the only thing I can think of. And there's only one person that was in a position to have a struggle with the thief. The only person that was on security duty that night. You, Detective Atme. Detective Atme, you must have fought with the thief that night. So why did you lie in your testimony to the court? Witness, giving false testimony is a serious crime. No. Wait just a moment, old-timer. Don't talk to me like I'm living in a nursing home. I just remember, Your Honor. I was just confused because I've been dealing with so many cases lately. The true measure of a man is in the amount of work he does. That's what I always say. Nick, you can only handle one case at a time, isn't that right? You talk too much. Witness, so are you now saying that you and the thief fought? Hold on. That's quite enough, Your Honor. Excuse me? Save the big questions for the testimony. That's one of my rules. Indeed, I understand. I, Luke Atme, agree completely. Indeed, it is true that I looked away from the door for a brief moment. However, Luke Atme cannot be so easily discombobulated. Unfortunately, the thief grabbed a weapon from the side and rendered me senseless. A true gentleman fights only with his own fists, but they were not enough. His first blow struck true. Bam! And that was all she wrote. So in the end, you did catch a glimpse of Mask Damask? Correct. It was during his third crime that he struck me from behind. It seems that my memory has become a tad jumbled, so to speak. Well, it's certainly understandable. I myself always get confused about which testimony goes with which case. That can't be good. Sure. What do you mean by a weapon from the side? Naturally, the thief had no idea that I, Luke Atme, was hiding in the area. He grabbed the sword from the statue that was standing by the door to the warehouse. You mean the sword that was all twisted like a tree branch? Correct! Fortunately for me, the blade was not sharp. Okay, so he is talking about this she. So the thief armed himself with a sword. And what about yourself, witness? Okay. You had that much faith in your own fighting abilities? But of course, in college I was second in charge of the boxing club. I'm sorry if I failed to find that appropriately impressive. However, my opponent in the ring this time was my arch-nemesis, Mask Damask. This guy's a real piece of work. Can you tell us a little more about what happened? My opponent was both powerful and vicious. You might say he was powericious. No, I don't think I will. I assumed that the Atme fighting stance, but a sudden flash of light blinded me. That, of course, was checkmate. My opponent had bested me. Flash of light? So what was this flash of light that blinded you? I was bathed in a golden light that seemed to come from the statue of the woman. The statue of Amy Faye, I'm guessing. Well, that wasn't very much help at all. What do you think, Nick? Well, there's one thing that I'm absolutely sure of now. Yeah, what is it? This Luke Atme guy? He's definitely hiding something. But why? I think I'm starting to figure out what really happened that night. And about the true nature of this detective. Let's ask about the Luke at me fighting style, because why not? Anywhere that we can get more testimony. What is the at me fighting style? I'm sorry, but that's a trade secret. I really can't say anymore. But I suppose I can tell you if I absolutely must. The main thing is to put your back to the wall. That way no one can get behind you. That's it? That's the at me fighting style? Well, Mr. Wright, what about that testimony? Of course it's important. We've learned a detective's secret technique, after all. Yes, indeed. I'll remember to use it if I ever take a walk alone late at night. Why the heck is he eyeballing me like that? It's creeping me out. Now then, witness. We'll go ahead and add that secret information to your official testimony. Put my back to the wall to fight, but the thief's blow landed upon my third eye. So it wasn't hit in the back of the head. Let's see what else I can get from here. Where's this third eye you're talking about? Oh, it's right between my right and left eyebrows. Sure, okay. The fact that he had his back up against the wall is definitely important. Okay, with a blow to the back of the head. It's still in the evidence. Quite invisible to the enlightened. You may call it the forehead, if you like. Why didn't you just say that in the first place? Sir Lawyer, it looks like the creases on your own forehead are getting deeper. So Mr. Atme got hit on the forehead, then? That's what he says. I've got a funny feeling about that. Yeah, so do I. Well, what do you think, Nick? Okay. So, that's the problem. Detective Atme, your testimony is crumbling like a house of cards. What fun is this, Sir Lawyer? It's truly a pleasure to cross swords with you. And now, once again, you have thrown down a gauntlet at my armored feet. I believe this is what you said yesterday. From behind, huh? But just now you testified that he struck you on the forehead. I hardly think you could forget where you were hit on the head. It seems I've made another mistake. Detective Atme, that's not the only strange part of your testimony. What do you mean by that? For example, the very fact that you hid the calling card from the police itself is strange. It's almost as if you were afraid they were going to help with security. Geniuses such as myself have always been misunderstood. How sad. That's wrong!
Objection.
Oh, there's his voice. To err is human, to forgive, divine. Humans aren't machines, they have souls, feelings. They live, they die, they love, they hate. And yes, they even make mistakes.
Objection.
Hey, hold on. It's not as pretty as that. Really, what is it like then? Always chase a riddle down to the end. That's one of my rules. This is it. This might just be my chance to turn things around. Mr. Wright, what exactly is it that you're asserting? Very well, Your Honor. The defense asserts that Mr. Atme is no ace detective. He is a fake. Well, you know, it's common procedure in cases like this to accuse the witness for the crime. So let's do that. The answer is simple. It's all clear to me now. Detective Luke Atme's true identity is actually Mask to Mask. Yarg! That was a great sprite of him. That's great. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? There are too many unnatural parts to Mr. Atmey's story. He says he was hiding at the crime scene, which is why no one ever saw him there. And then, in his last case, he manages to outperform Detective Gumshoe and the entire police force to miraculously retrieve the stolen treasure. Now that's because I analyzed the crime scene data and made an exquisitely elegant deduction. I picked up clues that the police overlooked in order to arrive at a... Oh, please. That explanation is far simpler than that, Detective Atmey. It's true that you are, in fact, mask to mask. But Mr. Wright, this photo clearly shows mask to mask. The security camera belongs to Lordly Taylor department store. He shouldn't have been able to manipulate it. He didn't need to manipulate it. He gained access to the warehouse under the pretense of providing security. Then he simply dressed as the thief and stole the urn. So the ace detective is actually the ace thief. Is this true, witness? Haha. Damask's MO is pure genius, and so am I, look at me. Ace detective. You're very clever to have come to such a conclusion. I'm impressed, Sir Lawyer. What? Witness, you're admitting it? Nick, now's your chance. Yes, time to put the last nail in this guy's coffin. Detective Atmey, when you assumed the thief's identity... Ouch. Godot Blend, 102. My personal favorite. Mr. Godot! The ace detective is actually an ace thief? I smell a best-selling novel. There's only one problem. It simply isn't true. But Mr. Godot, Mr. Wright has made some very strong points, and I will admit my opponent has woven a compelling narrative out of the whole cloth. But it is, in fact, nothing more than a patchwork quilt, Mr. Trite. If this detective really is the thief, then show us the proof of your claim. But it had better be as hot and as perfect as the coffee dripping down your face. Well, Mr. Wright, don't just stand there. This court would like to see this decisive proof you have. Quickly! Huh? Oh, yes, of course. What's the big rush? Are you alright, Nick? Atmey looks pretty rattled right now. I'd like to finish this right now if I can. But can I really do it? The decisive evidence that proves Mr. Luke Atmey is, in fact, mask to mask. Oh, the urn! It's the urn! We can prove that he has the urn, right? But I don't have it yet. So it has yet to be found? Yeah, it has yet to be found. I've got nothing. Just what I thought. A man has to hold his head up high, no matter how bad things get, after all. Yeah. You see, I thought that perhaps you had some evidence to back up your assertion. This is no good. I've got to stay on the attack. I'll never get another chance to prove that this guy is the thief. Don't give up, Nick. Think harder and try again. It's no good. I'm just not ready yet. But are you going to just give up and let us lose this? So, you've come to your senses, have you, Sir Lawyer? I can't think of a counterattack at all. Seems the cloud of suspicion surrounding this witness has lifted. Mr. Godot, if you have anything further to add, then... Who? Oh, hey. Hey, Desiree. Who are you? That doesn't really matter right now, does it? Miss Delight, what are you doing here? Nicky boy, the thing you've been looking for? I think I found it. You mean that bag? No, not the bag. What's in the bag? Well? That's... the sacred urn! Nick, it's the urn! Order, 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 you, madam! That urn, where did you find it? You'll never believe it. It was in the office of Mr. Fancy Pants Ace Detective, Luke Atme. Oh, Desi, you're the best! Well, how do you explain that one, Mr. Atme? Even you are going to have a hard time weaseling out of this one.
Objection!
Ha. Pathetic. Mr. Godot, do you have something you wish to say? Yes, Your Honor. It simply amazes me how quickly times change. In the old days, a man was to be taken at his word. It's truly sad. You're still denying that Mr. Atme was involved? Before casting aspersions on the Detective Atme, consider the young lady here. Your name is Desiree. Desiree Delight, is that correct? Yes, what about it? Ha! How charming. The lengths that a woman is willing to go to save her husband is truly inspiring. What are you insinuating? As the wife of the criminal, he could have discovered that stolen urn anywhere. Including the office of the good detective here. So you found the urn. What does that prove? It certainly doesn't prove where the urn was before you found it. What? I just brought it here from the detective's office. Please, madam. This town is already filled to the brim with lies. Any more could only compound the tragedy we have been witness to. You're wrong. I would never do such a thing. Miss Delight. Please, Nicky boy, you've got to help me talk some sense into these people. There must be some way. I've got to prove that urn was actually in the Atme Detective Agency. I can prove it. And the way I can is right there, but I do want to look at that urn. I will testify about what I saw. Because I saw that bag in his office. But that doesn't prove that the urn was inside the bag, unless I can prove where the urn was. By the fingerprints on it. Fingerprints, eh? Oh, come now. Now you're really making me laugh, Sir Lawyer. Fingerprints indeed. May I go on? Good. Now, it would be perfectly understandable if my fingerprints were on that urn. After all, it was I who was guarding the urn in the first place. In any case, I'm always in the habit of wearing gloves, as you can see. So unfortunately, my fingerprints wouldn't be evidence of anything. What about it, Mr. Wright? This witness's fingerprints would mean nothing anyway. Nick, what are you going to do now? I've come too far to turn back now. Atme must have brought the urn back to his office yesterday. And there, I'm sure someone must have left their fingerprints on it. The defense proposes that the fingerprints of this person should be on the urn. Hey, am I actually a profile? I am! Look at me! You never see Phoenix in the profiles. This is my third year as a young, but skilled, lawyer. So what is all this fuss about fingerprints anyway? Mr. Atme, do you recall the events of yesterday? It's true that I didn't get a chance to look in the bag at that time, but I did touch what was inside. What? You touched it? And I remembered very well. It was smooth and hard. Well, that was just... Your Honor, I'd like the court to examine the fingerprints on that urn. If my fingerprints are on there, then it proves that the urn was in Detective Atme's office.
Objection!
Well, even if your fingerprints are on that urn, it still doesn't prove when they were put there, does it? Of course it does. What did you say? Not what I said, it's what Adrian Andrews, the person in charge of the exhibition, said. Polish it until it was glowing. If she polished it that much, she must have removed any and all fingerprints on it. And the only chance I had to get my fingerprints on it after that was yesterday, at the Atme Detective Agency. Ha! This blend, Godot Blend 107. I've decided it's a little too bitter after all. His mask smokes. Order, order! I accept the defense's request. Bailiff, take this urn and... Wait! Wait a moment, Your Honor. There's no need for that. No need, you say? Precisely. I already know Mr. Wright's fingerprints are on the urn. What are you saying? Yes, I've finally broken him down. Again. Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. This guy is nuttier than a fruitcake. You see, it was me all along. I am the one and only Mask de Mask. Ha ha ha! I hope you all enjoyed my little performance. Well, Mr. Godot, what is Mr. Atme's condition? He's still in the lobby, laughing insanely, Your Honor. I wish I could enjoy the joke as much as he seems to be. Well, looks like the matter has been settled. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of thief. Nick, you were right after all. Yeah, I guess Mr. Delight really wasn't the thief. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight. You're wrong! Wrong, I tell you! I mean... Not exactly wrong so much, but actually not right is what I was really trying to say. Oh no, he's not. This can't be happening. The thief! The sneaky, odious thief who's been stealing all the treasures! It's me! I'm him! I'm the one you want. I'm the thief, I tell you! So do it! Pronounce me guilty! Please! I don't know what kind of kangaroo court you all think this is, but... The true identity of the thief has already been proven. Please hurry and pass, Judge. What are you talking about? I already confessed. I'm the thief, I tell you! Mr. Godot, don't just stand there drinking coffee! Ha! Hey there, Mr. Thief. Yes, sir? If you're really a man, then clean up your own mess. I'm sorry? I'm afraid I just don't have any idea what you mean. If you are Mask to Mask, then prove it. That's what it means. Yes, sir! I'd be happy to. He says he'll be happy to, Nick. It's kinda cute. He's 100% committed to his fantasy. Good boy. Just remember one thing. A boy only gets one chance in his life to become a man. I know that. I won't fail, I swear. Okay then, talk. We're all listening. Oh well. Let's all have a listen to this confession. Oh, I love him. The truth is, I've been Mask to Mask all along. I mean, you can't prove that I'm not actually Mask to Mask, can you? I don't have an alibi for the night the urn was stolen, after all. I donned my costume that night and dancingly descended upon the scene of the crime. Look, you can see right there in the photo. That's me! As for my brooch, I snagged it on a door handle and got torn off. That's all. I don't like the direction this trial has taken. But this is how every trial goes. At least with me, anyway. Ha! You're doing great. Stop it, Mr. Godot. You're embarrassing me. Like I said, you're only going to get one chance to testify, alright? But if you make it through this with flying colors, I'll keep my promise too. I'll make sure you stay locked up in a prison, as the one and only true mask to mask. Thanks so much, Mr. Godot. I'll do my best. All right, Mr. Wright. I'm afraid it's time for the cross-examination. So... You do, though. You've got no alibi? I've been a judge for a long time, and this is the first time I've ever heard a defendant brag about having no alibi. But I tell you, I was in Lordly Taylor that night. No. That's too vague, even for me. I'll be more precise. I was down in the basement warehouse. Hold on. What is it, Nick? Where was Ron DeLite when the crime happened, anyway? If we can prove he had an alibi after all, this case will be a piece of cake. Well, you're right, but... Ha! You think you can prove that? Wake up and smell the coffee. Well, I think maybe I can. Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence that shows the defendant has an alibi? I have the evidence. Or do you think I'm still some sort of third-rate rookie? Oh, I've never seen you this angry before. I'm not surprised. Anger is the last refuge of the pathetic. I thought I was more confident than angry. Well, then let's see this evidence already. Show this court evidence that proves where your client was on the night of the crime. Take that! Mr. DeLite, this wallet belongs to you, correct? Yes, it does. I had lost it somewhere. Mr. Wright, when you find a wallet, you should report it to police right away. No, you don't understand. This is an important piece of evidence. Evidence? Mr. DeLite, when did you first notice that you'd lost your wallet? Let's see. I think it was on the night of the crime. But I know I still had it when Desi and I went out for dinner. This wallet was found at approximately 1 a.m. at KB Security Headquarters. What? Surely you're not serious. Yes, I am serious. This proves that Mr. DeLite was, in fact, at KB Security that night. No! So if the defendant was at KB Security at 1 o'clock in the morning, then that proves that he had a watertight alibi. No! Furthermore, considering the distance between Lordly Taylor and KB Security, it would have taken 30 minutes to get there by car, according to Larry anyway. Well, Mr. Godot, do you have anything to say? And stop drinking that coffee! Come on, Mr. Thief. Don't let this guy beat you. Tell him why he's wrong. You're the only one who calls me thief, Mr. Godot. All right, I'll try. I'll do it. I will. He's really got Mr. DeLite all worked up. Yeah, he's like a kid at his first day of school. Look, it's just ridiculous. Why would I have dropped my wallet at KB Security? Someone must have planted it there to make it look like I was there and not at the heist. Planted it there? He's really reaching now. Mr. DeLite, you probably dropped your wallet when you took it out to use this, didn't you? The keycard to KB Security's CEO's office? No! Ha! That was a pretty good try, Mr. Trite. Unfortunately, you've overlooked one small thing. What? Motive, of course. Why would this thief go to KB Security in the middle of the night anyway? Well, Mr. Wright, it looks like you need some more evidence after all. Ugh, this stupid kid. Now then, let's see your evidence. The evidence that shows why Mr. DeLite went to KB Security at 1 a.m. that night. I guess we didn't really look through the evidence at the beginning because I always forget to do that for you guys. But, here, have a quick gander. This was it. It said to come to KB Security at 1 a.m. with $50,000. Sorry, Ron. Mr. Delight, I believe you've seen this before, correct? Ah, that's... What is it? A blackmail letter. That's what it looks like from the contents. Blackmail. Yes. Basically, it says bring $50,000. Dollars. I think dollars was written twice. That certainly sounds like blackmail, all right. At the time of the theft, Mr. Delight was dealing with the blackmailer himself. In KB Security's CEO office, a full half an hour away from the scene of the crime. How is he saying no while he's swallowing and drinking coffee? No, 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 no. Order, order, order! So when the theft of the urn occurred, the defendant was at KB Security. Looks like a perfect case for the defense. Objection. You may see it as a perfect case, Judge. But to me... Well, let's just say that my Godot Blend 107 impresses me a lot more. What are you trying to say? You say the thief was being blackmailed by the CEO of a security company. But did you actually investigate the CEO at all? Huh? Well, no, I guess not. Accusing a man of blackmail with no proof? I'm not sure what I think of that. Not sure what I think of that? At least I know what I think of you. Good point. I'm not sure what I think of it myself. You claim that the defendant entered the CEO's office, but you need at least one witness to corroborate the claim, Mr. Wright. Nick, I think we're going to have to track down the CEO guy. No, we don't have to track down the CEO at all. What do you mean by that, Mr. Trite? There is someone else who can testify. This is the person who can testify what the keycard was used. That the keycard was used at 1 a.m. that night. As much as I hesitate to bring him up as anything helpful, who is this useless-looking young man? Wow. You don't remember him, Your Honor? Not exactly. Just looking at his picture makes the bile start to rise in my throat. It looks like he doesn't remember the case from 2 years ago. He probably blocked out of memory on purpose. Anyway, this man was working as a guard at KB Security that night. Oh? The question at hand is this keycard. As you can see, there's no need to investigate the CEO of KB Security. We should be able to discover the truth simply by analyzing this keycard's data. Oh, it's like flickering a little bit too. His mask is blinking in and out. Ooh, spit take. I think that settles things quite nicely. Well, Mr. Godot, the name of the CEO of KB Security is Kane Bullard. I was unable to contact him directly, but I got the keycard data. Here. So what does it show? Each keycard has its own serial number, and they leave detailed records of their use. According to this data, this card was used at 1 a.m. in the morning of the crime. But that means it can't be Mr. Delight dressed as mask to mask in this photo. Which we've already proven. Ha! Looks like you're right. 2 minutes isn't even enough time to brew a good old cup of joe. So then... Ron Delight was clearly in the office of KB Security's CEO at the time of the crime. The prosecutor's office is ready to admit that fact. Therefore, it is impossible for the defendant to be mask to mask. Good job! You did it, Nick! That's enough. I came perilously close to besmirching the record of an innocent young man. Besmirching him with the title of thief. What's wrong, Your Honor? I'm ready to pass judgment, but before I do that, do you have any further objections? No, Your Honor. Very well. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, not guilty. Yay! Confetti. Applause. Cheers. Whistles. Court is now adjourned. Nick, you did it! You were right after all! Actually, I'm a little bit ashamed of myself. Nicky boy! Oh, Miss Delight. I knew you could do it. I believed in you all along, Nicky boy. I don't know how I can ever repay you. Ha, shucks. Thanks, Miss Delight. I just know I'm blushing. Congratulations, Mr. Nick! Oh, pearls. I've got a bad feeling about this. Who is this woman? Oh, she's nobody. She's just, You're blushing! How dare you do this in front of Mystic Maya? You should be ashamed of yourself. Ouch, you slapped me. Pearly? This woman is Mrs. Desiree Delight. She's our client's wife. Mr. Nick! Yes? You're even worse than I thought. Going behind the back of your own client? No, no, you've got it all wrong. I'll never forgive you. Ow. A double slap. Well, anyway, all's well that ends well, right? We got the sacred urn back, and the thief has been caught. You're so right, and it's all thanks to Nicky boy here. But actually, it was you, Miss Delight, that brought us our urn back. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Oh, please, you're embarrassing me. If we won the case, then why does this guy still look so glum? But I am the thief. Actually, what's the point now? What is it, honey? I did my best for you, Ronnie. I know that, and I appreciate it, Dusty. But the thing is... Come on, give the kid some time. He's just got a little touch of the blues. You know about feeling blue, right, amigo? Mr. Godot, what are you doing here? Oh, come on. I just came here to say thanks to my newest buddy. You, Mr. Trite. That smile is so sinister looking. It's just cocky and sinister. Maybe you should learn my name before you call me a buddy. Well, playtime is over. Huh? Early this morning, the body of Kane Bullard was discovered. Kane Bullard? Well, where have I heard that name before? Isn't that the name of the CEO at KB Security? Body? The estimated time of death, it was 1 a.m. on October 12th. 1 a.m. on October 12th. You don't mean... That's right, amigo. At the same time that a cheap little urn was being stolen, the CEO of KB Security was being murdered. So then, what are you doing here? Oh, come on. You figured it out already, haven't you, amigo? Or have you already forgotten about that piece of info I helped you out with today? Helped me out? What? On October 12th at 1 o'clock in the morning, Ron Delight was in the CEO's office, the scene of the murder. After getting that blackmail letter, he must have been imbrued with utter rage. What are you saying? Imbrued with rage? Come on, don't tell me you don't know. Ron Delight was once an employee of KB Security. He was a professional security guard. An employee of KB Security. Looks like the alibi that saved him from being convicted as a thief is going to be the noose that gets him hanged. Kind of an anti-alibi. No way! He can't be the thief, because he was at the murder scene when the murder occurred. No, that's a lie! It can't be true. But I'm a thief, I tell you! Ron Delight, you're going back to prison again. This time, the charge is much more serious. This time, you'll be tried for murder. What? This is impossible. I'm looking forward to another exciting showdown, Mr. Trite. You and I aren't through with each other yet. Surely you won't back down from the challenge. You've never been a coward. Mr. Nick, is there something personal between you two? I've returned to do battle with you. At least let me have some fun while I'm here. This guy, who the heck is he? He may be quiet, but he's the most dangerous enemy I've ever faced. Well then, time to say goodbye to Mr. Delight. Nick, how could this be happening? Right in front of our very eyes, our client has been arrested for murder. And the one who established his presence at the scene was me. arrested for murder on the very same day he's declared innocent of larceny. What the heck's going to happen next? Little glimpse into what makes this case really cool, really neat with how they do it. That there were two crimes happening at the same time, and now that we've proven him innocent of the first, I think we might have to step in for his sake against the second. So we'll do that next time. Maybe have some investigation about what happened, what went down early that morning. So, talk to you guys then.